Wrestling is never perfect, and sometimes performers just have to work through failures until they find an image that works for them. With that in mind, here are 10 drastic changes in wrestlers' appearances. Hardcore Holly. The mid-90s was a weird time in WWE, as every character seemed to be based on a regular profession, which Bob Holly unfortunately fell victim to. He was given the gimmick of a NASCAR driver with long hair and ridiculous attire named Sparky Plug. Later on, he cut his hair and the ridiculous gimmick, and came to the ring as the no-nonsense Hardcore Holly. He played the veteran bully gimmick perfectly, which was much more successful for him. Steve Austin. From stunning Steve Austin to the Ringmaster, Steve Austin had many gimmick changes before becoming a huge star, but was always a talented worker. When he changed to Stone Cold, it was a relatable gimmick that got him over as the most popular wrestler in history. He shaved his head bald and went with a simple look that people adored. It may have been a subtle change, but it was one of the biggest ones in wrestling history. Mick Foley. Mick Foley has played Cactus Jack, Mankind, and Dude Love over his time with WWE, WCW, and ECW, and was the absolute master of image transformation. It was his genuine personality and likability that got him over with the fans, along with the fact that he put his body through hell for the audience. The three faces of Foley were everything for a generation of wrestling fans, which made him one of the most beloved wrestlers in history. Scott Hall. Scott Hall always had the makings of a wrestling star, but lacked the it factor that prevented him from making it big. Then he made it to WWE, where he became one of the most innovative and beloved characters in history. Razor Ramon. On top of having amazing matches with Shawn Michaels, Ramon had the swagger and the attitude which helped propel Hall to the very top of the wrestling industry. Dustin Rhodes. When you perform as Goldust, there's no doubt that there had to be a huge image change to get to that point. The son of Dusty Rhodes was pushed as the American Dream 2.0 early in his career, but that changed when he came to WWE. He dressed in gold and was over-the-top sexual, and just downright creepy sometimes. It was strange, but it was one of the most beloved gimmicks of the Attitude Era. JBL. Before he had a Hall of Fame career and ended up behind the commentary table, JBL went through a series of image changes. From Justin Hawk Bradshaw to the APA to his eventual main event run as the corporate rich guy, JBL transformed from mid-Carter to the best heel of the original brand split. His style may have never changed from the bruising tough guy, but his look transformed over the years and has made him incredibly respected in the WWE. Bull Nakano. This is an astounding change, which happened as Nakano went from pro wrestling to the world of women's golf. With spiked hair and an intimidating look, she was the most physically intimidating and dominant female in wrestling, before Chyna, of course. After wrestling, she lost a lot of weight, grew her hair out, and became a professional golfer on the LPGA Tour. Sting. Sting was WCW in the early 90s and got over thanks to his easy-to-support, face-painted babyface character. Kids were dressing up worldwide as the scaled, colorful Stinger until the NWO arrived. Sting combated the faction by changing his look completely, as he began wearing darker clothes, darker makeup, and hung out in the ceilings. It was a bold move, but it definitely paid off, as this is how his look lasted through his runs with both TNA and WWE since WCW folded. The Undertaker. The Undertaker has by far the most legendary gimmick of all time, and while this has developed with the times, it's not the only gimmick he's ever portrayed. In the early 2000s, he put on a little weight and became the American Badass, where he came to the ring on motorcycles. The change didn't last long, as the same old Undertaker returned and has been the same ever since. However, this was a unique and positive change for the legendary Mark Calloway. Scott Steiner. The difference in Steiner from his debut in 1989 to his main event status in WCW and WWE debut is astounding. Early on, he looked like a dark-haired, clean-cut, all-American athlete, but then steroids happened. He bulked up, dyed his hair blonde, and changed his attitude to what we saw during his main event runs in WCW. This change slowed him down in the ring, but made him more popular, so it's hard to say if it was successful. And that's it for our video. Did we miss any huge transformations? Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to The Sportster. And remember, if something isn't going right in life, an image change always does the trick.